On the 8th of July 2023, we are commemorating the death anniversaries of our beloved parents. It so happened that my mother and the father passed away in different years in the month of July on 6th and 8th. Their marriage took place in 1941 on the 7th of February. The purpose of this video is to document the history and to help the great grandchildren to have a knowledge about the ancestors. Wedding photograph you are viewing is now 82 years old and still it is in good quality because this I updated and copied it many times to save it for our friends, relations and families. This photograph has been taken in Vatumulla in Valapane, and this happens to be an outdoor photograph just taken outside the Vijaya Nivasa where my mother's parents lived. The gentleman seated wearing a black coat in the front row is my mother's father. His name is S.A. Vijay Kon. All the people seated in the front row and on the ground are all relations of my mother. My mother Udulavati Vijay Kon's mother died when she was a girl of 12 years. My mother's father is someone who has come from Gaul to work in the upcountry as a tax collector of the excise department. And my mother's mother was from Ambaliyad, Udagidra Valauva. And her name was Udagidra Valauve Tikiri Kumari Hami. I am clipping a photograph of my mother's mother for record purpose. On the right of my father are my mother's eldest sister Mallika with her husband DCSA Yapa, who was a businessman. I too recall his large business enterprise, which is called Yapa Stores, Vatumulla. And there were only one or two car owners in the whole bazaar, and he was one of them. I remember going in his car and even remember the number of the vehicle. It was EZ 3134, a Hillman. With my uncle, Mr. Yapa, who stands there, is their eldest daughter, late Chandra Yapa. She studied at the Carmel Hill Convent. At the time, I studied at Ampetier Roman Catholic College. And in the hands of Lokuama, auntie, is the second daughter, Daya Yapa. The girl seated near my father on the ground is my mother's younger sister, Leela Vijay. She's also dead and gone. And there are two standing, one standing and the other one seated near my grandfather in black coat. The girl standing is the younger sister of my mother, and she's Rupa Vijay. And the one seated near her is Chandra Vijay, another sister of my mother. Next to my grandfather On his left is my mother's only brother, the elder brother, Abhiratna Vijayakon. The flower girl standing next to my father is Sudharma Gunasekara, daughter of father's sister Salbina Gunasekara. Incidentally, the photographers have come from Kandy to do this photograph, and they are from the Venus Studio. Now I move on to the second row, the standing row. The fourth from the right of my father, standing behind him, is his own brother, David Sedara, with a boy in hand. That is their son, Raymond Sedara, who served as Director of Education in Nurelia. On his left is his wife, Mills. She happens to be a burger lady. My father's brother, David Sedara, served as the postmaster of the Vatumulla post office, and his wife, Mills, served as the postmistress of Kumalgamu. The person standing just behind the grandfather, who is in black coat, is my father's father. He is the person with a thick mustache, white mustache, elderly gentleman. His name is Andreas Sedara. My father had two elder brothers. Eldest brother was Barney Sedara, and he was married to Anguhami. And the other brother was, as I mentioned, David Sedara, who was married to Mills. He had two sisters. Eldest sister was Carolina Sedara, who was Mr. W.B.K. Piyadasa, who was the village council chairman and who did politics. My father was the youngest in the family, and the other sister he had elder to him was Salbina Sedara. The one standing next to my father's father in the rear row, I remember his name as Heras Mudalari. Herat Mudalari had a bakery and was a famous business person. The gentleman standing right between the couple in the rear line is a Gunasekara. These Gunasekaras are related to us from Mr. David Sedara's wife's side. There are other Gunasekaras related to us as a result of my father's sister Salbina marrying Peter Gunasekara from Rikilagaskada. Later, my mother's sister Leela also married a Gunasekara from Rikilagaskada. Incidentally, none of the people in this historic photograph are living today, all deceased. Hope my explanation of the photograph will be of use to family members and to those who join us in the future.